I started watching anime very, very young, and in some cases, that's not such a bad thing. Anime definitely has much more mature themes than what the regular 6-year-old is probably watching that has it, such as like probably Sophia the First, Jack of Neverland Pirates, some of those type of series. And in my case, I was definitely watching Naruto, Dragon Ball, of course, Fairy Tail, series like that where, it's much more mature. And it wasn't that bad because it teaches you a lot of life lessons that some of those older shows for the little kids just isn't teaching you. But in some cases, we've all seen the anime girls. Some series you shouldn't have been watching. But a lot of series I did learn a lot of valuable life lessons from, such as Naruto, and the fact that hard work can beat out talent. Even though Naruto really doesn't abide by that, because if your father is the 4th Hokage, your mother was the owner of the Nine-Tailed Fox before you, you're an Uzumaki, one of the strongest clans of all time, and you're an incarnation of Ashura. It's like, are we sure that he was not talented? But there are characters in that series that had to work it off, all off determination and hard work, such as Rock Lee, Neji. There's a lot of characters that had to use hard work and determination to get to where they are. And although some of them fell into obscurity,
hell no, man, what the fuck?
Or even died, it still was a good valuable lesson. And something I like to say that I've actually came up with it is majority of us are Rock Lees living in a world full of Donzos. I cooked that up about 5 minutes before I actually started this recording. I really thought that hit. But majority of us are truly Rock Lees in a world full of Donzo, where just people that are just at the top with either talent or through vicious ways to get there. But it's a lot of things you can learn from anime, and hard work and determination is a big factor that a lot of characters have, such as Tanjiro, Asta. And I feel like the best example definitely will be Deku. Even though he had to work and he's gotten a lot of, plot developments that kind of favored him. In the beginning, he was all through hard work where he couldn't even use the power, the OP power that he got, because it would kill him. It would injure him too badly. But I feel like the character we had before Deku, who truly embodies hard work, determination, can get you far in life or can get you to the goal that you've been wanting, is Kenichi Shirahama. Or you probably know the series, Kenichi the Mightiest Disciple. If you haven't actually watched this series, even though I would be surprised, you've definitely heard of it or at least seen it somewhere. Because back in the early 2000s, it was definitely one of the more popular series that kind of faded out into obscurity, which I'm very surprised by. I really searched it up on YouTube and didn't find very few creators or even videos about it besides, reposts of fights. Shout out to the creators who have talked about it, Doro Senpai and Jax Blade, some wonderful and amazing content creators, and they actually talked about the series in their own different way. Kenichi the Mightiest Disciple is definitely probably the character out of all anime that embodies the fact that hard work and determination will get you farther than talent just by itself without putting the effort in to succeed. And I want to just take a look on the journey of Kenichi. Now, I'm not going to spoil this series because if you haven't watched it, which I'm surprised, it's an older series, you should go and check it out. I'm just going to give basically a kind of a summary rundown of what happened and talked about why this series is so inspiring, why this series inspired me to work on my own journey of becoming the mightiest disciple in my own way. And I hope that you can work in your own journey of becoming the mightiest disciple in your own way for whatever goal, aspiration you want to achieve. And it starts off with just him being a regular middle school student bullied. Now, a lot of us aren't bullied. I didn't get bullied. The story isn't about him being bullied. The story is about his journey to get from that lower place to a high spot. And he met a certain someone, Miyu Frenji, and he meets this person, right? And she has masters and lives with people that can eventually train him. And Kenichi goes there. He starts from day one. He's put in brutal training, hardships, and he's worked his way to the top through tons of training from characters like Shigure Kasaka. She trained him to fight unarmed without weapons and how to use them if needed. Now, on the outside, you look at, okay, this is just, he's being trained on how to use these certain things. But really, you have to look past that. Look into what this actually means on an emotional, on a stability level. She's training him how to fight unarmed. Because in this world, you're going to have a lot of obstacles that you're not going to be able to have instant fixes for. You're going to have to fight them by yourself. You're not going to have that help sometimes. You have to fight them with your mind. You have to fight them through your determination. That's what Shigure was teaching him for the actual obstacles affecting your day-to-day life. If you happen to have the tools to succeed and do that, you'll be able to do it properly. And that's what Shiguro was teaching Kenichi, how to fight unarmed, how to fight life without weapon and helps, and how to fight it properly with the weapon and with the help. Then you have Apachai Hopachai, which is one of my favorite characters in the series. He's a very intriguing and has a very cool past within the series. But on the outside you're looking, he's a Muay Thai master, all right? He teaches Kenichi a lot when it comes to Muay Thai. But something you notice throughout the series that he consistently knocks out Kenichi in the beginning. He couldn't really even train Kenichi, knocking him out every time to a point where Kenichi's scared to even, train with him. But over time, you see that Apachai Hopachai is learning how to control himself, right? His strength, and was able to withhold without knocking out Kenichi as much. And that's something that was able to strike through to Kenichi and even to the audience, is that even though you have the overwhelming power, whether that be the power, the talent, the social skills, whatever it is that you're just overwhelmingly better than most people at, or better than the person you're interacting with, is that you can control yourself, right? You can not exert so much where it's now affecting the person. But Apachai Hopachai was able to show Kenichi that even with the strength to control yourself and not exert so much, so that you're not just being a bully, so that you're not just looking down upon others. He was able to do that. He was even friendly with children, showing that valuable lesson to Kenichi. Next, who actually became Kenichi's first master, his first sensei, Akasame Koetsuji. He's a jiu-jitsu master. And something about him that's very interesting, that he's actually blind, but is recognized as the third and one of the first strongest when it comes to this practice of fighting styles. But as a blind person, this shows you, as well, it shows Kenichi and as well as the audience, that one, no matter the disability, no matter the effects that life can have on you, you're still able to become somebody and still be able to become one of the strongest people in your respective practice, no matter what it is. And second is that Akasame, even though also being Kenichi's first master, the first one to jump at teaching and training Kenichi, he was also the strictest with Kenichi. But at the same time, Kenichi always ran to him for advice and for help. It shows you that sometimes with people, you have to be real with them. You have to be strict. You have to set the boundary where you let them know that, okay, this is what you can do and what you can do when it pertains to how you deal with me. And in the end, a lot of people appreciate that. And they'll end up looking for you for advice because you're the only people that will be real with them, 100 with them. You're the only person to be strict with them because everyone else, they're more considerate of how you feel. Sometimes you need to actually be strict. You need to be serious in the moments when it's called for. And I think that's a special lesson that was drilled into Kenichi through Akasame. He was a blind jiu-jitsu master, was able to drill this lesson into Kenichi for him to learn and glean from. Next, you have Kinsei Ma. I'm not gonna lie to you, I don't know what bro do at all. He's a Chinese Kempo master. He was actually the leader and head over the Phoenix Alliance until he gave up his spot and position. I feel like a lot of his teachings go underrated or even missed due to the fact that his main character personality is that he's a little active pervert, you know what I'm saying? But watching the series, you get to see that one, he was way better than what he was previously. He was taller, more handsome. He was great with women. He was a master over the whole alliance. He was a leader, right? And then he eventually gave up that spot, moved to Japan, and eventually taught Kenichi. And one of the things is that he was amazing at using a defensive form of fighting. Even though Kempo is attacking offensively, he used a defensive form of fighting, more softer forms. It shows you that over time, as you get wiser, you realize certain things don't matter. And there's certain things you can put off to the side for a life that you would like to enjoy. And that's something that he drilled, or at least taught Kenichi, in the way of being defensive. Instead of having an attack back, a fight back, you could be offensive. You could turn the other cheek, also showing your guard some. And I think that's a special lesson that was taught. You have Hayato Furenji, Miyu Furenji's, grandfather, the elder, regarded as like the strongest of the Ryanzapuku school of masteries and stuff like that. His lesson came in a more indirect way. First, I do want to talk about the direct way. He is obviously regarded as the invincible Superman. He was, in his youth at Kenichi's age, challenging everybody. He was arrogant, cocky, fought 500 martial art masters at once. But as he got older, he realized that he didn't need to fight all the time. He's still a little arrogant and cocky. As you can see, he spends the dojo's money like frivolously. But his indirect way of teaching is that all those masters came under him. And that's something that you can recognize, is that you want to keep a certain amount of people, a smaller circle around you. You don't need everybody to be your friend. You don't need everybody to love you, but you do need those who do to love you a lot. And that could be just a couple of people. There's not a lot of people in that dojo, and it's for a reason. There's not a lot of disciples for a reason. Because not everybody can just be in that dojo and learn from these masters. Same thing with you. Not everybody can just be around you. You don't want bad people corrupting your energy. You don't want the wrong people to be around you. They can lead you down a path of astray. So it shows you that certain people, they can elevate you, promote you, keep them around you. You want people better than you so you can excel as well. That's the whole purpose. I feel like that's the way that Master Furenji's indirect teachings of the lessons came through and taught Kenichi. And to lead off into the last, I feel like, valuable lesson that Kenichi was able to learn is from Miyu Furenji, is that it's kind of the same lesson that Master Furenji taught Kenichi, is that you always want somebody in your corner to believe in you. Miyu believed in Kenichi from the very beginning, knew he was going to be somebody. Whether it took a lot of time to get him to that point, whether it was a grind, a struggle, him having to go through tons of fights to get to where he was and where he is, Miyu believed in him. And sometimes that's all you need. If you can't believe in yourself, have that friend that's going to support you and push you to keep going. That's what you want in life. You don't want just people to be yes men and yes women, that be like, yeah, you can do it, do this. No, you want people to be like, no, you need to train, you need to get to this spot, you need to do exactly this. And they believe you, whether it's harsh, whether it's friendly. Miyu fought and trained with Kenichi. It wasn't like she was just doing nothing. She was helping him as well in her own direct way. And I feel like that's also a valuable lesson that Kenichi and the audience was able to gain as well from watching this series. And I think the last thing that came from this series is Kenichi's own lesson that you could learn from him, the audience he taught, is that in the end, if everything else fails you, training will not. What you've trained for, what you've been pushed to do, is not going to fail you in the end. It's a quote, not always motivated, but I'm always disciplined. And that's something that Kenichi was able to learn from this. An amazing quote. You're not always going to be motivated to go wake up in the morning, go run, go train, go study, go work. You're not always going to be motivated to do it, but you got to be disciplined. You have to be able to know that you rigorously have to do this. That's your discipline. That's when it comes into play. And I think that is a very important lesson that Kenichi was able to teach. There was so many times where he just wanted to give up, where the masters are training him. It's rough. He's fighting people. His life is in danger consistently. But in the end, he was still able to push through and become, again, what the series says, the mightiest disciple. And I feel like that's a very valuable, important lesson from the series. The series is fun. It's goofy. It's a good shonen series. And a lot of people don't see it as that, and I'm surprised. Because this series, without a doubt, taught me more lessons than I can count. Your whole life can be kind of based off of the teachings that this story has brought. And I'm just wanting to share this. I didn't want to rant and take this video, make it so long. But this is just such a great series, and I hope you enjoy it. And I hope you go watch it if you haven't already. And yeah, man, I appreciate y'all for tuning in, and I hope you have a blessed one.